सुने ना के सुने घरको छानो मायाको छ डोरी यहाँ घरमा छ भनेको है ए त्यसै गर्छ यार
My heart's full of flames.
Southern Military Island, you can see if there are teams there, so maybe they're hoping to swim into the center of zone, potentially. That could be the only thing that comes to my mind, because fighting in from the southern side of the bridge, it's not free. That's the problem. It's not a free rotation.
I'm very confused by it, to be honest. I'm really interested. I mean, you can see on the minimap now, Vampire on the south side. They were just behind Major Pride out on the west, but now...
They held out IHC. We saw that earlier, yeah, so...
This is crazy. This is crazy from Vampire, and they're going to have to move. So we'll see what their plan is from here on out. But it keeps a lot of water in this next circle, Zute. So for everybody else in this lobby as well, this is desolate land.
Yeah, and treacherous waters too, because we're going to see teams elect to go for that water play. Look, Major Pride already doing so. They might go for that swim up to that gas station ridgeline that I was just talking about. That's the only viable play from the west side in that water now. And it could work out, because the thing with D Plus and DRS right here, they're kind of just barely enough in the zone where that better position, further down, they might not go for it. No, D Plus spots it out. They are going to elect to take the superior positioning. Great choice out of D Plus. All on bikes. Just that little ridge on the beach side will give them enough cover to make it here. And, oh, what a great rotation out of D+. Launching over the ridge straight into the gas station, too. You can't do that with any other vehicle. Oh, never. Oh, he didn't make it. Okay, I thought he did.
No, the first player did. There were two bikes,
okay.
Right? And I think that was the second player. He hopped out. You can see that bike down there on the left. Actually, a lot of shots coming through from Vibes over on the bridge. Really nice high ground there as BTR trying to hold off against Brute Force's crash. They sail straight on through from the north side. They were on the hills northwest of Milta. They managed to find a route through. Genesis couldn't quite take them down. And Genfos a little bit too far forwards to hold out on his own. They're going to have to wait. Ravenclaw and the rest of Vampire as well starting to move across the bridge now. Maybe this was their plan all along. They know where this circle's going to go, and they like to play the back of the bridge. So they'll crunch these teams on the bridge, Beano Storm and Vibes. But the high ground is dangerous. Beano Storm still lying in wait.
Ooh, being patient with his shots right there. Newsy doesn't want to give away his position. Oh, leans and scopes to the left. This is his chance. He's going to have to go fishing there. I don't think Vampire's expecting two teams here. They're probably expecting at most one. They've already dealt with Beano Storm out of the picture, so if they spot another player, they might get a decent idea that, hold on, this doesn't seem right. It might be a second team on the bridge. On the other side of things are heating up in the land. It looks like Brute Force is going to control that compound. IHC stuck at the shack on the outside, and still so many teams here with strong positions.
Major Pride have been swimming over to the bridge for the whole time. Look at this angle from Doc, and nade over to Schweppes. That should be on the money. That gunfire away. Tony K seems to be unaware, but a banked nade drops into the middle. That might be a little bit more obvious. The next one sails over to the stairs, and Tony K just about evades the full damage of it. But he's got another in the pocket. So does East. Two players from Vampire going down, and Doc's position. He can now start to step up. He can now look for these trades. Doesn't want to go down, and Newsy is going to be most likely to find this nade over to East. Smokes are still bloomed. The high ground's still completely unnoticed, but they're aware there's another team on the bridge.
Oh yeah, Doc is going to cross over here and get the finishes. One more nade. It's good.
Kale no
Only
lagana.
2 players up. They got the reset onto Tony. Close enough where they can see
Manager
footstep
Halima is gane.
indications on the minimap if they happen to glance at it, but the bullets will definitely give it away. Still 2 players up, I think,
Main
for
intention
Vampire,
है
but
तो
they're pretty
plastic
much
का
done
लेने
and out
छोड़े
of
बने
this
सुने
fight.
थे.
Circle is about to shift as well, and the blue zone will be the death of them. I think Tony K, the last to fall to that play zone. And Major Pride, they swam across. This was the play I thought Vampire was going to elect to do, but Major Pride pulled it
अब ले
off
आयोगी.
in a much more favorable spot, right? Coming in from the north, you don't have to swim as far. Major Pride keeping 4 up, problem is no vehicles.
I find that play from Vampire just to be so questionable. It's probably one of the wildest plays I've ever seen. I'm going to have to get onto Satani about
I
that
agree.
one. I'm going to have to message him because that was absolutely crazy. If it had worked, sure, maybe we would have given him credit, but I just think kind of nuts. We'll be remembering that one for a while. Genesis trying to crash onto AHC's shack, and it's going okay, I would say, for AHC, but they have so many sightlines sent over to their way. Brute Force was sending nades down to IHC before. Team Queso had that off angle as well. They'll be fighting for this position. BTR in a really strong spot now.
Yeah, BTR in a great position. Brute Force really trying to thread the needle through that shack with those nades, or thread the nade through the... Wait, thread the needle through the... Hold on, I'm just going to say, they're trying to throw the nades into the shack, but it's not working. Weibo Gaming in the distance with 4. Weibo Gaming have yet to really make a huge play, and they're going to have to soon if they don't get the zone. They do have 4 players up, though, but a lot of teams have been cut down. Now we're into the last 10 or last 11 teams.
Vibes have made their way across now after their defense. Major Pride struggling against Nolbu. He's only able to get 1 before the flush comes in. Naomi needs to crawl into some cover because D Plus are going to launch some nades out this way. Vibes not quite in the greatest position to be able to find this. Smoke starting to bloom. They're not taking any chances here. Dino's going to enact the res onto Naomi. Naomi still further back for Major Pride. Will be looking to hold it down. Playing the off angle seemingly quite well for this roster.
Yeah, Naomi a very strong player. His damage number proves it too. And like I mentioned earlier, the most difficult role is that off angle. You have to be able to think for yourself a lot because the team can't see your vision. Sometimes you have to make the important calls from your position because you see stuff that your team doesn't. Naomi definitely the player up to task for it. On the northeast side, Rook, the winners of the first game, staying strong as for Demorte just down to Milky Way, and they are going to pressure this in.
Just keep their push going. Corker down, and Default now has backup from Rami. With that DBS on the inside, Milky Way with that DBS himself in hand, spots a player cooking a nade and nearly clips the wings, but isn't going to be able to fly this time around. Milky Way back on upstairs. Corker still low. I think he crossed that door frame. There is damage pouring in through the doors. That's from Brute Force out to that eastern side. Corker just wanted to stay safe, but you can't find it. Nades up and in through the window. You're locked into that corner. You can't cross back, and Rook can take down Demuerte.
Major Pride are doing a lot of damage from this ridge line. They've got a Nox onto Vibes, found a nade through. Now they're going to look to take the gas station. Got to be careful, though, because Vibes is still there, and they get the zone. So maybe it's a risk not really worth taking. Just leave that solo in there for now, as the Vibes player are taking shots at them.
Trying to survive with Fabian in the gas station. Major Pride still taking knocks out on their western coastline. Team Queso and Bigatron, really the 2 teams in these really strong positions up to the north. Team Queso 4 players, Bigatron with 4 as well. Major Pride have been fighting through. And Vibes, by the way, are climb up these tables over these last couple of matches that we've seen from them. They're in 3rd place right now. With Influence Rage taking that dip, they're 6 eliminations. They're really keeping up the pace with Mongolia.
Yeah, Vibes doing great for the region. Of course, STE being such a strong team, Vibes also stepping up to the plate. Weibo Gaming getting caught in a tough spot. This back off angle from West Carry is doing great for Genesis, because if Genesis was all in the shack, this is an easy breach in for Weibo Gaming, and Genesis has no real fighting chance, but Carry really dampening that push out of Weibo Gaming, trying to get a confirmation. Weibo Gaming looks like they could be reset to 4. Rook now having to make their mad dash, and oh, this is one full send if I've ever seen one. They're getting cut to pieces.
It is a tough move to make, and it will not be successful. Rook eliminated. The shots from Brute Force just a little bit too much to bear. Weibo trying to cross from this western edge as well, over towards Genesis. Everybody trying to cinch in, but it's Team Queso really holding out this northwestern side right now, with Gianti from DRS, the last player alive for them as well on that western edge, just trying to stay alive over on the... Crawling around out there. Not having the best of times for Weibo.
So taking some long distance shots for that mini, running extremely low on that mini ammo too. He's got to be careful because Wyman hasn't been able to make that cross yet, and I don't think he will. So if Sook gets knocked, that is not going to be a likely revive. But Wyman also not in the zone. He's going to have to make that cross, and that smoke he threw earlier is starting to dissipate.
Does manage to just make that mad dash. Finds himself on that tiny little ridge line that you can see that buggy of both of those players posted up behind. Brute Force now from the northern side, taking nades over towards Genesis and looking to poke their nose in towards that Bigatron hold on the eastern edge. Will be pretty important to make their next move carefully, concisely. Need to be accurate with their play now.
About to head into circle number 7 here. Fabian staying alive. Major Pride did try to finish that out, but Vibes team stopping that short. There is still the solo of DRS. I don't know if Major Pride realizes that he's still there. They were taking shots towards that direction earlier, so they just have to keep in mind that that position isn't fully flushed out yet. But as a solo, Yanti isn't going to try and do much if he keeps getting the zone, which he's going to have to hope he gets the next one.
Oh my
He
goodness.
does!
Team Queso as well in that brilliant compound position, but it's going to be Brute Force and Bigatron both staring them down. Daggers from the off angles there. Major Pride from the south side have a difficult push to make. They're going to have to strafe across that Weibo and DRS solo hold area, and I don't know how successful they could be. I wonder how much utility they're going to have to make it.
I think it's doable because there's that ridgeline on the beach. With if they could get there, I mean, Ganti is the only real opposition. Of course, crossing over towards that ridgeline is going to be risky with Queso. But Queso, if they wait it out, Queso's going to be concerned about BTR and everyone else on the northeast. This is very doable for Major Pride if timed correctly. The big thing for me is all the teams with the most amount of players all lost the zone. Brute Force, BTR, Vibes, Major Pride. This is going to be a big push out of all 4 of these teams.
There is that little hill as well, just to the north side of the road. I don't know if it will have exact cover for Brute Force just on the edge here. But here we go, Vibes rolling on into the last player from D+. And they're able to take him down with no casualties. They can get the healing done, then get a move on. In the meantime, nades in from Major Pride. A third-party attempt onto this push forwards, and maybe timely made as well. A nade over the top finds Apex, and now Doc and Baron low on the inside. More nades looking to come on through as well as they drop those smokes to keep their position up on the wall, nice and secure from that northern side. Major Pride continue to bombard and slow down the players crucially from Vibes. Remember, these players do not have a lot of time to play with. Burn onto the inside of Major Pride, making their bid for freedom towards that beach.
Yeah, I'm so happy to see they didn't get too distracted from potential eliminations there and went and pushed over the wall, because even if they take out Vibes, there's nothing much for them to play for there, so they recognize the task at hand still. They will go down to the southern beach side. Sook with a nice knock from distance onto Effect. With enough smokes, Effect can crawl down and get revived, but Sook has eagle eyes looking over here. This is the most likely point for
won first place at the 2023 PUBG Mobile Pro League Spring Regional Championship.
Right down. In the meantime, Bigatron rolling on up to Team Queso. Zatalis goes down first on the crash. Artur's low on the back line looking for a heal, but Bigatron playing with 2. Superboy the next to fall, and Lapart left last to stand in the face of Team Queso. Has got that auto shotty, but it's not going to work out. Brute Force cut apart in the meantime as well. Nobody's been able to make this cross towards Team Queso, and it is their game to lose at this stage.
Oh, Major Pride down to 2. They had a chance with 4, but now down to 2, and the zone not favoring them either. Also, Queso will have free reign over the entire sightlines of the south side with 4 players up. No one going to be able to contest them either. And it looks like Vibes are hopping over and going downhill. Just trying to get the points now. That will get confirmed. Dino, the last one up, and he realizes, I'm going to take this 1v1, get a placement up, and maybe the 1 point. Gianti still holds strong.
Actually, a lot of the players from Vibes are down. Gianti, if he finds a nade on the body here, or anything really, he might be able to find something, but no, he's going to use that last first aid. Maybe have time to dip back out, but no, he's going to have to move forwards over this ridgeline into sight lines, and this is now no man's land for him. I'm out with the angle right out this way, but there's a little bit of bush cover. So Vibes are going to have to crawl forwards. No nades in hand means that it's going to be difficult to make. Gianti's still going for DRS.
Yeah, DRS staying strong, but finally caught out by YML. He stands up, gets the shots in. We're down to the last 4 teams. Queso just looking to get as many points as they can. YML trying to steal some of those away, didn't get that one. There's still the solo of Brute Force on the north. He's not going to do much though, I don't imagine. But there is 4 different teams in play here.
Looking at Vibes total, and right now they've got 11 eliminations, Ute. They have a massive dent put in that lead that they have been closing from that Sandhawk as well. Going into this match, they are looking to put up a lot of points. Even if Baron goes down here, this is a very, very significant shift in the tables that we've seen so far today. They started on 87 points today. Their Sandhawk was good. Can they get even better here? It's Team Queso looking to burn out onto Neos. That damage will tick away. That's Brute Force going down. That's YML falling as well. And Vibes have laddered up into 2nd place with 11 eliminations. Sits down in the blue, denies the point here. Team Queso will be able to take this one down from the compound that they were holding on that side. They didn't have to leave it. They did get a little bit of a blessing, but they played for 9 eliminations on that chicken dinner, and a really, really solid position coming through for the team. And once more, they're looking at T-pose on us. They did it yesterday when they were able to get a chicken dinner, and they're going to do it again today.
Yeah, get the pictures in. And honestly, Queso did have a very far rotation to make to get to that center spot, so they risked it and they got rewarded. It's not like they just started off right around there. So good job to Team Queso. Also, holding that compound might, seem easy when the circles keep shifting around you, but it's not the strongest of compounds. A lot of sight lines. You could get knocked, another team could push in, so they had a great job at defending as well. Queso with a major win. Vibes, though, for me, just rising into that 2nd place position with a lot of elims is one of the bigger stories for me.
Really Vibes to be able to play over towards that bridge side as well. And it's going to be so tough for them. This is the next rehold against the Gladiators.
Brass starting to move in, not happening though. Now Major Pride down to 2 players. Ozarok Swain moves up.
โอ้โหโต้แล้วดูจะเป็นสวอตไอซีหรือว่ายังไงปาดเข้าสมบูรณ์แล้วออกมาเล่นนอกบ้านแล้วจังหวะกลับมาจะยิง